At this point, I've been running every day for over 2 weeks, taking in mile after mile of road and trail. A challenge that appears routine, but is far from it. The problem with running this far, as you're about to see, is energy levels can drastically fluctuate from day to day. One moment you're flying,
I have been reborn!
The next you come crashing down. This 500-kilometer run was about to bite back. If you think you'd like to take on this challenge yourself, check out 500k.co.uk to register your interest. Day 16 today. The exciting thing about today's run is that we will cross the halfway mark, which in some ways is a little bit daunting, the fact that I've got to run all of that again.
Welcome to day 16. I'm fully buffed up. I mean, referring to this, don't get me wrong, not bad, but I've got the trousers back on. It's fresh, it's cold, wet underfoot. It's just a bit miserable and gloomy. This is the kind of stuff you just trudge through. Having done a lap of the field, it was quite clear I needed a bit more grip. So changing up the shoes, try something a bit different.
And I carried on through the forest.
Not far to go until not just the halfway mark for today, but the halfway mark for the entire 31 days.
After a brief chat with a random dog walker,
no worries, have a good one.
The halfway mark was in sight.
And here we go. The big halfway moment of the 31-day challenge, the halfway line, crossing it now, and that is 8.05 kilometers of the day, 155 miles total, and 250 kilometers so far. Now let's do all that again.
With the jubilation of getting midway quickly dissipating, I was left to stomp out the final 8 kilometers with tired leg muscles quietly complaining. Next, I would be going
up this path, just slow and steady. That's what gets us through this right now. This is painfully slow, just up on my toes, legs burning.
A slight slip on the gravel, and I summited the hill gasping.
About to have just the second gel of the entire challenge, but my energy levels are dipping, so I think this jelly-like substance is needed. Let's hope it doesn't create a situation like last time, though.
Slowly tracking the trails, I found myself somewhere that I hadn't aimed for.
Not totally sure how I've ended up on the side of a road, but here I am. I've come in on a slightly weird angle back towards this field loop to finish off. I managed to find an opening in the trees and a short little disused path to pick my way back along the trail and come out to this, into the sunlight with only 2 kilometers to go. I have been reborn! Bit dramatic. Oh, look at the sunshine though. Let's do this, guys. Coming to the end of day 16 and 160 miles. 16.1 kilometers. I thought it might be quite nice as well, just at the end of the 16th day, to just thank you for following along. I'm sensing that as we enter the latter half of this 500k, that things are starting to get a bit tough. So it means a lot to have so many people watching, liking and commenting on the videos. And I'm gonna go get some food and some rest now. Day 17. This thing just goes on and on and on. We're kicking straight off with beautiful sandy paths running into the shadows of the trees.
Passing horse riders, I had the notion that things were better.
Well, I've definitely started this morning feeling a little bit better. 27:37 for the 5k.
Which soon had the brakes applied as I jogged my way up a sandy incline to get a better view of where I might be. But then I saw a woman standing like a superhero with a cape, presumably made from a duvet. Discovering a slope down off the hill, I made my escape, tearing down the sand until it flattened out once more. I still had absolutely no idea where I was.
58:10 for the 10k mark, so I've managed to just bring that speed down a little bit, and the plan now is just to cruise in the last 6k.
This man was carrying one of the larger camera lenses I've seen in a while.
I find myself on some random road, not quite sure how I got here. Oh, let's finish this thing.
And with that, the 10-mile mark arrived.
1:36:40 total time. That was sandy. Just 2 more weeks to go.
With my left foot in some pain, an ice boot was applied in the hopes it would improve over the coming days. Day 18 would change everything.
It's almost starting to feel like a job. I'm pulling up to run some more trails. I just feel very drained today. I just don't have much energy.
I reluctantly pulled on the ultra vest.
Day 18. I feel like the word to describe today is just relentless. It's the relentlessness of coming out yet again to another spot to run around the trails. Just going through the motions of driving the Jog On van, parking up, getting out, getting the kit on. The horrible moment of sort of coat off as you know that it's freezing cold. Keys, phone, water, all the checks, connecting the watch to satellites, and then just get going and just knowing you're going to be out here for at least 10 miles. It's just exactly that. It's relentless. Just saw a guy out running, bright blue top, black leggings, and he was moving at a fair pace, and I just had this sudden thought of, wow, you know, I really miss running quickly. It's just not an option for me this month.
I picked my way over a small, wonky bridge.
Oh guys, 3.3k to go, nearly 180 miles into the challenge. I can tell you, this sucks. I feel like I've been out here for hours. 350 meters to go. Come on, let's go, pick it up. Ah, there's the car park between the trees. I can say without a doubt that today was the hardest day of the challenge so far. Today was very tough. Very tough. We continue on to the next day. Let's face it, Jog On crew, yesterday was a mild disaster. Fear not, I've woken up feeling refreshed, but we won't actually know until I start running what condition I'm actually in. So let me talk you through the tactics of today to fend off any chances of what happened yesterday. The plan of attack has 3 parts. Number 1, today, while still trail, is deliberately a route that's a lot flatter. That's to basically save my calves. Number 2, I will have a woman on an electric bike pacing me. And number 3, we've got some jelly babies. I know it's not the best plan, but at the moment, it's all I've got. I'm working on it. I already introed that I'd called in someone. I said I've called in a woman on an electric bike as part of the new approach. I've already had an absolute nightmare and forgotten to fill up my water bottles, so I'm running a little flatter chested than usual. It looks like I've got 10 miles of thirst.
I noticed a woman running with a van driving alongside her.
Do you think they're telling that woman that it's closed?
It turned out that they'd closed the path.
Apparently it's not good running conditions when trees fall on your head, so we're going to have to change our plan and our route.
So we did, and I was hit by a surge of energy.
Well, I feel suspiciously good.
I was feeling the best I'd felt in 19 days of running.
Currently just approaching that massive hill, the same one that I ran up in the Alice Holt parkrun video. It's much nicer running down it. I just ran through my fastest kilometre of the challenge at 4:33. I'm either having the greatest run of the challenge or the most idiotic.
A passing runner and I greeted each other.
Hello. To save the legs on what is seeming to be one of, if not the quickest run so far of the challenge, I'm locking right back down on the uphills just to save the legs a bit. So I'll wake up tomorrow thinking, why the hell did I run that quickly? Flying past the Jog On van, 3.5 kilometres to go. Slip sliding around this field to finish off. 100 metres to go. That's 16 kilometres for 4:23. Here we go. 1:22.03. What a time! Oh God, I felt so much better there. I don't know what went into that granola I had this morning, how middle class, but dear Lord did I feel good. Wow, what a change from yesterday.
I awoke to rain, and after making some ultravest alterations, checked outside.
Oh, this is horrible. The watch has connected. This weather is awful. Won't be a huge amount of filming on this run simply because there's just so much rain. I'm not sure how long my hair will remain looking like this. This is the first run where I've packed a raincoat into the back of my vest. Not because I intend to run in it. Even in this weather, that would just get too hot. But just on the off chance I have to stop anywhere for any kind of period of time, it just means I can throw it on, stay that little bit warmer. You may notice no headphones either. I'm going music and podcast free again for this one. Just the sound of rain hitting me in the face. Got partial streams forming down the road here. Feel it soaking into the socks.
My attention was caught by some sheep.
You're pretty wet. It's horrible, isn't it? Whilst we're experiencing a little less precipitation, the wind has picked up, as you can probably hear. 5k in, 11k to go. Quiet back country lanes in this weather. It's a strange dichotomy of misery with glory.
A rain-covered reflection swept by, as did a closed building proclaiming an outdated pub of the year status.
Streams forming again on the roads. This is quite a common sight, these sort of semi-abandoned English pubs. Weird times.
The dreariness of the day endured as I pushed on.
I ran up here just a few days ago chatting away to Alan outbound. But now, this is a solo run. The conditions might not be the best, but it has at least been pretty firm underfoot, bar a few particularly muddy and wet sections, which has resulted in quite a nice cruising pace. Just went through 10k in 58 minutes, so not too bad, considering how steady this feels. Up there is the path that Alan and I had a few difficulties with last time. Finishing up in a slightly different place from where I did with Alan, because this time I didn't go check out his van home. And there we have it. Got the time at 1:31 there. Do you know, I don't want to speak too soon, but I think I'm getting fitter. And that is a beautiful way to bring around the grand total of 200 miles. Only 110 miles to go. Oh.
Waking up that morning, I did not know that I was about to run faster than any other day so far, but perhaps too fast.
3 jog on tops to post for a slight change, running through a town centre. It's so nice to be back on tarmac after all this trail. Woo! Cruising along at just over 25-minute 5k pace.
A nice street sign.
Wow.
It was clear that I was feeling good as I passed 10,000.
10k in just outside of 50 minutes. I don't know what's going on. I feel great.
Confusion enveloped me as I continued to steadily jog, yet the watch was saying otherwise.
I'm going to be under 120 at this rate. It's absolute madness. Under the lamppost. 119.38. What's happening? Let's go!
With an average 10-mile time during the challenge so far being in the 130 to 140 range, 119 came as quite a shock for what had felt reasonably gentle.
I honestly feel great.
And just when I was starting to feel invincible after my 119, day 22 reared its head and struck with a vengeance.
I thought he had a jog on coat on then. Hello! He's sporting the new jog on coat coming out soon. Day 22 being chauffeured again, and I'm full of life. Well, I might have been full of life in the car, but now that we're running,
something was wrong.
It's worth taking a moment to tell you that this is where they filmed the opening scene of Gladiator back in 2000, starring Russell Crowe, and it was filmed just over here. I'm sure at some point that we can do an actual running through history jog on episode about this, but essentially this is quite popular with some filmmakers because you have this wide open space. It contrasts very harshly, but also nicely with the thick, tall line of trees over there.
We pushed on through the gladiatorial set until it hit me.
We've just had a momentary pause in the run as I'm very much suffering. It's just the last 3 days have had their effect, and I think my body's gone into recovery mode and it's not giving me the energy for another run. I've crashed after the initial full of life. I am now. Yeah. The other error regarding today, of course, is that we included a route with hills. I didn't know I was going to feel this bad, but this was not a day for hills.
The exhaustion was slowly increasing, and as I ditched the vest in favour of a belt, I was not carrying a gel and only half the water.
11 kilometres and I am a bit dead. Beautiful sunset this evening.
At 14 kilometres we were back at the car, but I still had 2 kilometres to go, so I opted for slow laps of the village green, and it hurt.
Oh, that's 16.1. That was really hard. Day 22 of 31 complete. 9 more days to go. Another 90 miles to run. Day 23, 0 degrees Celsius out there. It's cold.
It was cold enough to feel the chill on your skin. Puddles had even frozen in fantastical patterns, and it was in this cold that I began my 23rd 10-mile run.
He looked quick.
It looked like I would be handed layers.
What? Yeah, sure.
Zipped in, I was free to continue.
Okay, well thanks for that. Oh great, now I'm carrying an extra jacket. Guy back there was just running along texting. I'll be home soon for breakfast, darling.
Then a man in running shorts approached. And I mean short.
How are his thighs not cold? I'm cold. Look at me. I'm wrapped up warmer than someone going to work. Whoa!
The GB athlete flew past.
Forget me. That's a good runner. Just to give you some sense of how big this loop is, I'm about to complete 1 lap, and I'm also, at the same time, about to go through 10k. 1 lap is 10 kilometers long. It's been pretty uncomfortable the entire way, but there's still that voice in my head that just says, you know what? Could run forever if we wanted to. As a human, you're meant to do this. It's what you're built for. So tap into that, and you'll be unstoppable. 12k, come on!
And with a final effort, day 23
There we go.
was complete.
On to the next one!